Well, Destroyer just wrapped up, so we're gonna kick ours off. Imagining some people will be trickling in. Man, my shoulder is jacked. Trying to go back to the OG format here in the garage, assuming the stream will stay up and the signal will stay strong. Looks pretty good to me right now, though. But we got some stuff. Yeah, we got some stuff to talk about. What's up, Nate? You know what? What's up, Ken? Actually, I got to plan the giveaway for my Foxtoberfest spot. I think I got to double check the dates. I'm probably gonna be giving that away. Ken, hope you're doing good, my friend. Yeah, so I saw my first S650 in person.
Oh, Jesus, that's a monster spider. It's right next to me. Kill that sucker. Holy cow, that's a big spider. Get out of here.
Dead. Yeah, this boss has been lonely in this garage for a while, so it's time to get it a friend. And good news is the project car has made progress. I got a text today letting me know it's getting some work done. So it should be here before we know it. But I do have a new issue. My the transmission. Hey, Super Fast, what's going on, man? What's up, Zach? The transmission in my daily driver. So here's my dilemma, guys, and you tell me what you think. So the transmission in my daily driver has, as far as I know, 336,000 miles. Now, the motor only has 170, maybe 175, 76, something like that. But the transmission's the original one, has 336,000 miles. The overdrive, everything shifts fine, except recently overdrive, if depending on how much throttle you're giving it, like if you're giving it a lot, it's not really been an issue, honestly. But when you, not really feathering it, but like mid throttle, it'll slam into overdrive. So I added some Lucas transmission, whatever it is, stop slip or whatever it's called. And I don't know if it's better. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. But when I drained some out to add that, it didn't look great. Like it didn't look horrible. Like I've seen way worse transmission fluids, but it was definitely dirty. And I'm debating if I want to do a drain and fill, because with 336,000 miles, you never know what might break free and get plugged up, or just let it ride until it breaks. I'm kind of in a conundrum here. Don't know what to do. But the reason this is a problem, it'll tow my camper just fine. I picked up my camper. I'm worried about picking up the project car in that car. I'm worried that it might be too much for it with a hurt transmission. Yeah, I just worry about the high miles. That's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about that's 336,000 miles worth of crud in there potentially. So, I mean, I'll probably do that. Yeah, I mean, that's probably what I'm going to do. What's up, Pinks? Yeah, we'll see. I'll change it, and I'll make sure, like, I go ahead and add a quart or 24 ounces of that Lucas stop slip anyway. In worst case scenario, it's going to be gone. There are, like, replacements out there, but, you know, you never know what you get when you purchase a used one. You know what, guys? We're just going to go ahead and, like, open this bad boy up because I've got stuff to talk about, but I don't mind people being in here. I haven't talked to you guys in a while. Well, the problem is, Ken, I've only had this car for 30,000 miles of its life. I've only had the car for 36,000 miles of its life, or 30,000 miles of its life. So really, like all my other cars, every other car I've got here, all the fluid is changed exactly when it's supposed to. Actually, before. Like right now, the cars have like 20,000 miles synthetic oil in it, and it still gets changed at 3,000 to 5,000. It's probably overkill, but it's all right. What's up, Jamie? But yeah, when I put the link, if anybody wants to hop in, let me pin it real quick, and we'll keep going. So I saw my first. Well, first off, if everybody saw the Fox body video, hey, does it upset people? Like honestly, like I feel like my original audience kind of knows when I say I traded the boss for whatever. Like it probably didn't trade it. Like it's a day trade. All right, I'm a day trader for Mustangs. I borrow a car for a day, leave the boss there, finish doing what I got to do, and then bring that car back. I get some people that get pretty butthurt about those posts, which is pretty amusing to me. Let me see. All right, here we go. Man, CJ Pony Parts has been advertising hard on my channel here. I feel like I should get a commission or like a supercharger out of the deal. Just a little bit. Just a little bit, stupid fast.
Check. That's right.
I get it. So what do you think? Is it too much to claim trade for clickbait? Like I feel like if you're not clickbaiting, you're not trying. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
You couldn't hear me because I wasn't saying anything. I'm using my tablet again, and I have to set it up because it's not as easy.
It's not going to let me pin a link.
What's that?
I thought it wasn't going to let me pin. I thought it wasn't going to let me pin the link real quick. I was trying to pin it. If everybody doesn't mind hitting that like button too, that helps us out. So yeah, the Bullet. I really like the Bullet. Honestly, and I've never had. I think it's hit or miss on how the MT82 is going to be for you. And that stock MT82 in there. I know the Gen 3s are usually pretty. I just pinned it, Ken. The stock Gen 3s are supposed to be weaker than the Gen 1s, but like the Bullet, I had no issues with. The only thing I had to get over with it was the longer throw because I'm not used to it, and so like I almost missed a shift because I stopped pushing because I felt like I should have been there already. But I liked it. I like the Bullet a lot. I like the sound of the stock exhaust on that one. I thought they did a good job making it sound kind of classic. Lots of burbles.
Wow, I cannot type.
The webcam on your tablet is really good, Pinks.
Yeah, it is. Way better than my laptop.
Well, my laptop is cheap.
And my laptop was not cheap. Well, not to me it wasn't. It was $1,100 when I bought it.
I bought this one. I bought my laptop, years ago so I could do taxes.
Laptop. I bought my laptop for doing stuff with the car. Tuning. That's all this was for. Now it sits in here most of the time. But I think it costs so much because it does this. It's a tablet. But it's Windows. But at the time, it was like one of the top of the line with an AMD processor in it. That's why it was only $1,100 instead of $1,300, which is what the Intel one cost.
Oh, I hear you, Ken. Yes, I fixed my striker lights in the boss. I had a weak connection pin. I fixed it, and then I buttoned everything up, and it immediately loosened up again, and I lost the lights.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I can't stand the long throws in my Focus right now. The long throw shifter, it's probably as bad or worse than the one in the Bullet.
So MJI texted me today and let me know that the Fox is getting worked on right now.
Sweet.
So should be getting a coat of paint in the near future. And then the motor will go back in, and then It'll be showtime. So, Barris? Well, I'm bummed. I don't think I'm gonna. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna make it to Foxtoberfest. It would be. I thought it would have been so cool for to drive out there because Foxtoberfest is in his backyard. Drive out there, pick up the car, take it straight to Foxtoberfest, and then bring it home. Thought it would have been a good way to reveal it to the kids.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. But Layton has baseball.
Yeah, baseball season ends though, but then it's not good driving season.
Well, it's travel baseball, so it never ends. There's always tournaments. But so yeah, I saw an S650 finally, and I do like the way it looks. I don't like the rear. I do like the way the taillights kind of flutter. If you see them in person, I don't know if you've seen one yet. I don't like. I wish it had a deck lid. Like the color match in between the lights looks funky to me. I feel like it needs to be black. And then I wish they should have kept the quad tips. The quad tips were like everybody loved those. I drove the 60.
Wow.
Well, I mean, yeah, Eris, you got to do what you got to do. I'm lucky, man. I got the place that I've been driving all these cars on the channel. My buddy's the finance manager, and I mean, because of what I do for a living, I'm not going to do anything that's going to jeopardize my career or to get me in trouble with cars. That's foolish. So, he trusts me, and I go out there and just take these things out for some fun and enjoy them. What's up, Nate?
Not much.
What's up, Nate?
No,
Yeah, my daily driver's got an issue here. I'm kind of concerned about bringing the project back.
I wouldn't worry about it. My transmission in my Sequoia had 333 on it. Granted, I know my boss took care of it. Like he changed everything at the intervals by Toyota. Yeah. But my transmission couldn't figure out what gear it wanted to be in ever for the whole 35,000 miles I ever had it.
Well, Eris, it feels big because it is big. Someone put it on the scale, and I thought it was 38 something.
Oh, it's heavy.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a big car, and and the power it's been putting down on these dyno numbers is 10 higher than a stock Boss. So
it's mediocre at best.
So I saw someone post something somewhere, and I don't know if it's true or not, but I think someone was saying that once you cross 1,000 horsepower or 1,000 miles, it picks up 30 horsepower. That's what someone was saying. I don't know how true that is. That's just something that someone said on one of these social media platforms.
Kind of like the C8 Corvette that won't let you get into it until it's at 500,000 miles, whatever it was.
Yeah, something like that. But I mean, it just seems like 30 horsepower. Are you really saving anything? That's why I thought it was kind of weird. The remote rev feature, I do think it's kind of tacky, but I know. If I had a car that could do it, I'm sure I would do it all the freaking time.
Can't you do that on the GT500? I
have no idea, but I think this was an industry first for it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I'm waiting to see somebody with some Corsa Extremes, no cats, and I just want to see someone rev it with that. Just scare the Jesus out of somebody.
I hate Corsa no cats. I don't like the sound of the Corsa.
I don't either.
I don't like the sound of the Coyote to begin with. I'm not a big fan.
I like Corsa.
Huh?
I like Corsa.
Well, Corsa's fine on a good engine, but on the Coyote, it sounds like crap.
So the Coyote, if you listen to a 4.6 and then listen to a 5.0, it's like a car to a truck to me. Difference in sound. I heard a bunch of videos from Mustang Week, and it really was apparent whenever a 4.6 would go by and then a 5-liter would go by. I'm like, oh my God, it sounds like my dad's pickup truck.
I love the 3-valve sound. I love it.
Yes.
I think it sounds so good.
Now, what I don't like about the Coyote is the raspiness it gets in the upper RPM levels. Like,
if you remove those resonators, you just be prepared. Like, you're gonna have a crap ton of rasp.
That's what I'm saying. Is now when I had mine done, it doesn't get super raspy in the high RPM because of my exhaust, but I had a custom exhaust made. Like, nobody else out there has one like mine. It is fully customized, and so it sounds different. And I had told the guy, what I wanted was I want it to sound more like an older muscle car and not these new, the overhead cam is what does it.
So I haven't researched. I was trying to figure out what did they do to the Bullet, the new Bullet? Because the new Bullet, it did pretty. I mean, it sounded pretty old school to me. I was pretty impressed with it because I knew it didn't sound like any
change. It's a cam phaser thing. Use it. They do it with the cams and with the exhaust. I think the exhaust is slightly different, but I know they tune the engine to sound better.
What's up, Mike? What's up, Bama?
So I got to see my first S650.
Oh, I haven't seen
I don't know what Ford was thinking, or if they did that. But that's a grabber blue with matte black stripes with red pinstripes in the center.
Yes, you can buy it like that. I've looked at the building.
I'm like, who ever thought of
I'm like, why?
So, like, I went to my local dealership to ask them if I drove there one day to ask them if they had one. And they said, oh, we're not getting any. You have to order them. And so I was like, okay, fine. And I found out after the fact they finally had one. But I found one near my grandparents. So that's the one I went and recorded some shorts on. And went to go see, like, the salesmen were pretty cool about it. I told him, like, what I do for other dealerships. And he's like, oh, yeah, no problem. And he pulled it out, like, revved it for the kids and stuff. It was pretty cool. But, man, I just zoned out on what I was about to talk about. I get up really early now, so I'm, like, always tired.
So I know that I was looking up some stuff today at Woody Anderson in Huntsville, the Ford dealer there. They have a used 2024 Mustang base model GT. It's got 91 miles on it.
They're doing it on purpose. Is it Is it been marked up?
No, it's
shocking.
Okay, you reminded me what I was saying. So they said that, like, the ones that I've been able to see so far are customer ordered that they rejected. Like, nope, I don't want that because it's a hunk of crap.
This one was a base model, and whoever bought it, I think, took possession of it, didn't like it because they bought the base, got the 400 package instead of the 401 or whatever their packages are now. And it's got off interior, no upgrades to it whatsoever. It's just base model. And for me, that's what I'd buy now because I keep doing all these upgrades to my cars. It's stupid to buy all the performance stuff on it already.
All the I agree. I like the base ones. Honestly though, my favorite iteration that's been put out so far is I really do like the Spec 2 RTR. I think they did a really good job making it look good. No idea what it can do performance-wise, but I think it looks great.
Yeah, I think the iPad, they look a little big to me. I've seen some interior shots of these cars, and yes, that dash looks a little large.
I like the dash. I really like.
I haven't seen it in person, and I like digital dashes because I love the one in my car. But I just also found at the same place they have a 2016 Mustang GT.
He showed me
for like $50,000 because it's a Saleen. I didn't even know Saleen did that.
I like the he showed me the Fox dash feature, which I thought was pretty neat.
Yeah.
It's it's one of these like tacky things that you don't really need, but I just thought, I thought it was kind of cool. Yeah, so I'm
hey, nice. That's a good carburetor.
What's up, Victor?
The chat's going by faster than I can read it.
I know, right? Well, I finally am on at a decent-ish time because I've been all over the place lately because of work. And like my new job, like I get home a solid 2 to 3 hours later than I used to.
If I hadn't been looking, I wouldn't have found you had a live tonight. Did you not post it earlier?
No, I didn't because I was worried I didn't know what was going to happen tonight.
I kept going to your community feed to make sure you didn't say something about it because I always look at my TV.
Kept refreshing, going back to subscription then home because I was doing it on my TV, and it doesn't refresh the same way the phone and the computer do. So I caught it like about a minute after you started, or a couple minutes after you started.
Well, I prefer doing it here in my garage too, because I got the mic and I got the pretentious mic that we've talked about right here, and but no, like I like doing it in my garage. But the signal's always been crap. Seems like it's doing all right today.
Oh, what's up? My dog just woke up and moved spots, and it's gonna lie back down again.
Well, from the news that I get today from the farm, okay.
Pharmacy lied.
Sorry to hear that, Zach.
That happens to me too all the damn time.
I got a shoulder problem right now, and I'm gonna give it 2 days. I'm gonna put my TENS unit on it later and shock the bejesus out of it. But like, if it doesn't get any better, I'm gonna have to go get it looked at.
Yeah, I realized was it today or yesterday when I was carrying? No, it was yesterday. I was carrying stuff into the house, and I realized that if I carry stuff like this, muscle right here starts hurting really bad because the rip in it is still there that I did 2 years ago.
So the next boss video I'm putting out, I finally did record. I don't know if I talked about this. So I finally recorded like the Axelback shootout with the Roush and the Outlaws. And the Outlaws, I think I did talk about this. Yeah, the Outlaws did not sit right. So they're like pointing down a solid 6 inches below the valence. It was the only way I could get them on there. The rear hanger was interfering with my tow hitch.
Yeah.
And I wasn't about to cut it because it was a brand new set of Axelbacks. And so I got them on there enough to hear the note and record it. And then I took them off, and now I put them on Marketplace.
The dark gelding. Sorry, that was funny.
Yeah, I mean, the crazy thing is I'm starting to see. I feel like I've noticed recently, and not a huge drop, but there's been a drop in car prices.
Very, very little.
It's not. Yes, it's not. I didn't. Yeah, it's not huge, but prices are definitely slightly lower than they were.
I'm truck shopping right now, and I'm like, why do I got to pay $27,000 for a truck with 200,000 miles?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Trucks are outrageous still, except mine. If I try and sell it, I'll never get what I want for it.
I want to get I'm looking at trucks too, and because I need a truck. For what we want to do in the future, I need a truck. Oh yeah, I've had epicondylitis in both my elbows 2 or 3 times, and it's awful. What's up, T? How you doing, sir?
I found a 13 F-150, and I'm gonna go look at tomorrow.
Oh, I'm looking at the last of the V8 Tundras. That's what I'm looking at. That, or I'd love an F-250. Or a Cummins 2500. So the dealership that I test drove the Bullet at, I did all those videos when I was on leave, transfer in between jobs, and I'm bummed because they had a Supra. I wanted to drive the Supra because I don't really want one, but I'd like to drive one. And they also had a C8, and that'd be like the true test of how good friends I am with this guy. Like, will you let me take out a C8 Corvette? Do you trust me that much?
I've heard the Supras and I've seen them. They are tiny.
Yeah, they are tiny. But I'll be honest, I'm not gonna lie, man. I saw one that was souped up, and they're pretty fast.
Not all about going fast.
You got to be able to fit in.
Yeah,
I couldn't say that straight face. It's all about going fast.
If you're not fast, you at least have to be loud.
How about fast and loud?
I mean, that's preferred, but you got to be one or the other.
My Mustang is actually in the garage now. I finally got it out of the trailer. And watch, there's no more Michigan dirt on my truck or my car.
My buddy, I have one of the OG videos on my channel. If you've been here a long time, you might have seen it. Was my buddy in his 15 GT, and he had multiple iterations. He had a Paxton, he had a Pro Charger, and he had twin turbos. And the Paxton setup was when I went to the strip with him, and or maybe it was the Whipple at the strip, and he had the Hush Power Flowmaster mufflers on there, so like quiet exhaust, like super quiet on his GT. And so all you heard was that blower whining. It sounded like a freaking Hoover sucking in cocaine flying down the road. It was crazy.
Well, my plan is right now to get rich, and after I do that, I'm gonna buy a built Coyote engine, and then I'm gonna get the 3.8 liter Whipple and throw on it, and then gut the car.
There you go.
And put an automatic in there, and then I'll have something fast. I was looking at that today, the 3.8 liter, and they were showing it next to the 3 liter, and it's just like this. It's just
Jamie, that's what I was looking at also initially. I actually met a guy with one of those, and he was telling me all about it. I don't know a ton about it. I couldn't remember the name of the transmission he said he had, so I'm glad you put something in there. You mean Allison?
No.
Asen? I never heard of that.
So
I thought it was an Allison.
the funny thing is that if I'm not mistaken, the Allisons and Dodges now are actually Allison branded transmissions. They aren't truly Allison transmissions.
Well, that's disappointing.
It is. Well, and I don't remember when that started, but they may be the Asen transmission. I think is just a different transmission.
I thought it was 2016 that they had that transmission in there. My brother just picked up a 3500. He's trying to buy a live-in horse trailer.
A live-in horse trailer.
He makes pretty good money, and he's got no kids.
There.
Yeah, the same guy I got this sweet Caliber transmission from that's been in this garage for a whole 2 years. No, I didn't make it the Mustang week. I had a lot of stuff going on, unfortunately. I went and visited my grandparents, which it was much needed. So, sometimes you got to make the right choice.
So I got to ask, did your dad sell his car already?
It is probably going to be sold tomorrow, I think.
I wish I had money because I would have come up there and bought it.
I wish I had money because I would go buy it too.
I'd have bought it out from under you in a heartbeat if I could.
Well, yeah. Well, if you offered more than me, I'm sure you'd take it. So
$5 more. That's all I'm doing.
No. Well, I hemmed and hawed over it for a while because I'm sure, like, if I told him I'd get him the rest eventually, like he would have done it with me. But I was like, man, do I want that or do I want the Fox? And I was like, I really enjoyed being in the Fox community.
I'd get a Fox.
Yeah.
But that's my favorite, minus the late 60s models and up to 72. The 2005 through 9 were my favorite body style.
Well, they were the OG retro look, right? And they nailed it. They did such a good job with it. And everybody says, oh, they're 3 valves are turds. But if you go back and you watch the videos in 2009, there's a video on YouTube from 2009, I believe it was, and they had a 3 valve going against the Camaro SS from 2010. It was an 09 3 valve going against the Camaro SS from 2010 and the new Challenger SRT8. The Mustang was like fractions of a second off the pace from all the tests they did.
And that was a stock one, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a stock GT3 valve.
Right. I like the 3 valves weren't horrible, and they sounded great.
They sound good, and honestly,
I like the look.
What I liked about it, especially that one, the reason I would have loved to pick that one up is I love the color. I love the look he already had. The valences are perfect. But I would have turned that into my track car. I would have built a track car out of that. But the problem is I'd build that track car having no idea when I'm going to have time to actually go to the track.
That's a manual too, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. Now, when you say track car, you mean like road course or
road
drag?
Course, yes. Road course.
Okay, yeah. Okay. So road course, yes. Would not do it as a drag car, although that's a better transmission, I think, than what I have.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and the 5-speed's not bad. I drove that. They're still rock. So Skip Barber, when I went there, they had 3-valve race cars, and they meant that a lot of them they swapped in the Tremec 6-speed.
Right.
But due to the shortages in COVID, some of them are still rocking the OG 5-speed Tremec. And
I was going to say it's still a Tremec though, and
they were holding up just fine.
Getrag is basically a Chinese company.
Yeah.
And they're just basic crap, and it's a bad design. To be honest, it's a bad design. So even the Calumet Stage 3 isn't as good as you could get something, like a Magnum, because it's a design he's having to work with, and they make it work better, but it's still not perfect.
I mean, I agree. It's definitely not a better transmission, but with the way mine's set up right now, so I still have the stock transmission in there, set up with the MGW short throw and the stainless clutch line, and I've got very smooth shifts. I've had no issues. It feels good to me. I like the feel about it all the way around. So I mean, I've driven the Tremec that's in the GT350. I did think I thought it felt good too. But honestly, as long as my MT82 is shifting fine the way it does right now, I'm not going to have any issues.
What year is your car?
A 12.
12, right? Did they go to the MT82 in 11? Is that when they started using it?
Yeah, with the 5.0.
Right.
I'm starting to think, I don't know. I almost don't want to take my car out anymore because I don't want to know if third gear synchronizer's toasted or not.
Yeah, we can rebuild that. Yeah. We can make it better, stronger.
I'm sure. I hate it. I missed one gear one time, and ever since then it's intermittently it'll grind into third.
It sounds like you screwed up a synchro.
Let's talk about that. So the Bullet was the first car I've been in with rev matching. Man, that is a cool feature.
It is. I wish I had it.
I keep hearing a weird noise in my garage. Oh, it's my phone. My phone's got barely any volume, so I'm hearing us talking through my phone.
That's what I keep thinking. Bama is $6 million man when I say that. That's all that comes into my head. We could rebuild it, make it better, stronger, faster.
Wait a minute. I've missed some of Mr. Mach 1's content because I don't know anything about his new Fox. I'm going to have to go check that out.
Yeah, I actually started watching it earlier today, and then I got busy at work and I couldn't watch it, so I got to get back to it.
Yeah, my new job is pretty crazy busy. I'm not allowed to have my cell phone through the day, so.
How do you live?
I mean, you stay busy at work to make the time go by faster.
I usually do, and usually I don't. The only thing my phone does at work for me usually is plays my books on my headphones so I can listen to my book.
Oh yeah, I'll listen to like sports radio while I'm working sometimes. So like Pat McAfee, I like listening to him a lot.
I used to listen to him. I don't listen to much anything other than books now.
I'm excited for him to have Aaron Rodgers on to talk about what happened.
Isn't that supposed to be tomorrow?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But all I know is like I've already seen some ridiculous videos like Aaron Rodgers highlights from the 2003 season. It showed him running out, and then that was it.
I've already seen people making jokes about Tom Brady coming out of retirement
to replace him. Yeah,
no way. It would be hilarious, but no way.
Oh, you learned rev matching? Well, yeah, but automatic rev matching is even better.
Yeah, and I mean, I rev match on my car just to try and save the synchros. But yeah, the auto thing was really freaking cool.
I just do flat foot shifting. I don't care.
You don't have to pull your foot off the brake ever.
Off the brake? What brake? There's a brake?
Yeah. Well, when you're braking to set the turn.
Oh, fine. Yes. When I'm doing road coursing, yes, there's a brake. There's a break at the end of the drag strip too, because there's a wall at the end.
I'm still torn. I'm still very torn on what I want to do with the Boss. Like, I was like, yeah, if I get a centrifugal, you can still road course a centrifugally blown car, I think, pretty well. Because it'll still feel stockish until you decide you don't want it to.
I've heard differing stories and different opinions from different drivers that I know that do road course a lot, and the debate of NA, turbo, centrifugal, and what is it? Positive displacement.
Yeah.
They all either, depending on the person, have a plus or minus about every one of them. They all have their pluses and minuses.
For sure.
The nice thing about the positive displacement, the power is always there. It doesn't kick in all of a sudden. There is no, nothing that makes your back end come out from under you when you're in a turn, because it's a linear curve.
Yeah.
And that's one reason I went with that, because at the time, that's what the Mustang was doing when I bought that, was road course. I was doing nothing but road course. And, I was doing the bracket racing with the Car Club, which I really miss Car Club now. That was a lot of fun.
Engineering auto
hanging out with the guys.
So is that an aftermarket rev matching? That's something to look up right there.
The Bigfoot episode.
Engineering.
I'm going to look that up right now. Just go to the old web.
Yep.
How much does that cost?
I'm looking here.
I'm going to guess. Hold on. Let me guess. It's going to be
Downshift blip module.
580.
I don't know. Click here to buy now. You're close, but you went over.
Dang. Well,
let's see.
What about after tax?
Mustang 2011 to 2020.
You can't click on it. It's
$520.
All right. My right foot works really good for $520. It isn't broken yet.
Oh, I got you, Anthony. Hey man, hope you're doing all right. Anthony, I'm essentially a Marine now. I work there. I work for Marines.
SFT. Hold on. What am I missing here?
Just kidding.
Well, who
but
was SFT?
I can wear Marpats if I want now, though.
Back to YouTube.
Anthony, have you driven your car on the track yet? When's the first track day?
Oh, she's answered stupid fast. Okay, my brain's not working. Hey, Rich.
Yeah, it's not bad because honestly, like nobody knows what my job description is, so I just kind of do stuff on my computer that
Simplify, baby. That
offers help, and people just leave me alone. It's pretty great.
Just simplify. That's all you got to remember. That's all the Marines can remember. But sorry. I'm an ass.
No, it's all right.
I was Army.
I just walk around grunting. Hoorah!
Mm.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, they got that one wrong too.
All right. Well, good luck, Anthony.
Not washing it. Yeah, there you go. I washed 3 cars in the last 3 days, not including today, but yesterday and the 2 days prior, I washed my truck, my Mustang, and my Focus.
Oh,
the Focus is my daily, and guess what it did today after washing it yesterday?
rain.
There you go. But just enough to leave water spots.
I never wash for Cars and Coffee. I don't wash for Cars and Coffee anymore. I don't wash for local meets. I will wash for a car show, but I haven't done one of those in a long time. I washed it for the first time in 2 or 3 months recently, just because it'd been sitting in my garage covered in dust.
I only washed the Focus because it just needed washed. It was filthy. It needed cleaned. And I just gotten that the edge of your window there where you use the wipers and it gets all dirty. I just got that all clean, and then it rained today and I had to use the wipers and it's all dirty again. And I'm like, oh, It hadn't rained in days, and it just sprinkled just enough to do that.
Do you see the Mustang Owners Museum's having what is it here? The Shelby Roush and Saline invasion.
Yeah.
No, I missed. So I went when the Hot Wheels, whatever it was called, the Hot Wheels car show that was in Charlotte.
Yeah.
Legends Tour.
Yeah.
Then that weekend, apparently, like we stopped in the Mustang Owners Museum, and they thought I was dropping my boss off when we stopped there. She's like, "Oh, I was actually expecting a boss here because we're about to have an event." So apparently, I missed that.
Yeah. So my ceramic coating on my Mustang no longer works. It's gone after 6 years.
What'd you say? Say that again.
My ceramic coating on my Mustang, I had it done about 6 years ago. Had it a full paint correction and ceramic coat done, and it doesn't really seem to do anything anymore. It's pretty much toasted.
How long was it supposed to last for?
About 4 or 5 years.
Okay, you got your use out of it.
Yeah, it's been the paint's been damaged so much since then from getting hit. Like I said in that one video, it's been smashed. The front end smashed into the front of my trailer. The back end's broken open the door of my trailer, and I found a new dent that I think is because of that smashing through the door and then hitting. Why can't I think of his name now? Hitting
Sublime. Did you hit Sublime? Everybody hit Sublime.
No, it wasn't Sublime. It was a truck. Why can I not think of his Big Block? Big Block.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot about
it. Ran into his truck, and I think I found some damage that I hadn't seen before on the side, on the driver's side, on the back. There's like a squiggle dent that is probably from when it hit the door. And I didn't notice it until I cleaned the car because it was filthy. You couldn't see it. That car hadn't been cleaned since before. I mean, I cleaned it once in Michigan, but I really wasn't paying attention to it because it was a quick clean. The ceramic detailers weren't around until recently in the last year or so. And at that point, I'd already destroyed the paint.
Yeah,
I got a big scratches down one side of it from a ladder. That's always fun.
It's a gently used Mustang.
Gently? Yeah.
Yes. That's what I reposted for sale. It's lightly used.
Only driven on Saturdays and some Sundays.
What are you talking about? The 24?
Mine.
Oh.
No, his.
Mine, which only has 32,000 miles on it, being a 2016. That's pretty low mileage for a 2016, I guess. What is that? How old is that now? 7 years? And it's a late 15 build, if I'm not mistaken. So it's at least a 7-year-old car.
Well, my boss is my newest. My wife's car is a 17. So I want to get a 20 or 21 Tundra.
Yeah.
I
was looking at trucks yesterday, but it was just curious because I was looking at old 80s, like an 80 to 90 Toyota 4x. My God, the prices on those are ridiculous.
Oh yeah, for sure.
In good shape, they're almost $20,000.
If you get one of those old,
the old 4x4 Toyotas.
What's up, Gunner?
Toyota pickup. I don't even remember if they had a name.
Gunner, I think you're new in here, man. Welcome.
Gunner Bowling.
But yeah, I would love to get a Sequoia, the new Sequoia. The new one is super expensive. And it can tow what a truck tows, but the last, like the V8 one that came right before it, it can only tow another extra grand on what I got right now. So just 7,500. I mean, it's still plenty, but like I want down the road, like I'm thinking long term, trying to get I'd like to get a fifth wheel at some point. Like I don't have any money for that right now, but like I think like when I get closer to my time in the military being over, I want to get a fifth wheel.
Your life experience will change for trailers forever when you get a fifth wheel.
Oh God, I wish I had a fifth wheel on mine instead of
I
a fifth wheel or even a gooseneck.
Yeah. I never towed a bumper pull trailer until I bought like my 6x12 I had that I sold. My dad's always had a gooseneck my entire life.
Yeah.
Oh, lucky
So
you.
I was the 16-year-old dragging around the tractor from farm to farm on a 24-foot gooseneck. So I didn't know what it was like. And then I got a bumper pull and I'm like, this thing's horrible. The Sequoia, it was blowing all over the road, you know, being a small, even though it was a small trailer. I'm like,
Oh, did you not have a sway bar on?
it's a 6x12 trailer.
Oh.
Oh wow, little guy.
Yeah.
Oh, try bumper pulling 26,000 pounds with 13 foot
Yeah,
tall
no.
and 34 feet long. That stacker of mine was just a beast to pull.
Yeah, I got
Especially when a semi went flying by me.
I use I got a weight distribution hitch that's good up to like 10,000 pounds, and I've had like it pulls my trailer super smooth.
Yeah, that was the thing. Is I looked at getting one of those sway bars. So the F450 was nice because it has anti-sway built in, and if it determines the sway's too hard and it can't do anything to fix it, it lets you know, and if you slow down, it fixes it. But yeah, those anti-sways, all the weight distribution, none of them went up to 26,000 pounds, so it didn't help me any, or even 24,000 pounds. Which is what the trailer was rated, you know, which is the maximum the F450 is supposed to pull on.
And you did break down, Anthony, but you fixed it and got back on the road. So that's what's most important.
Wow. 22,000 pounds. That's I feel you. I drove from Washington State to Alabama, and I went the long way straight down through California and then across 40. And got stuck in Amarillo for 3 days during a snowstorm or ice storm or whatever the hell it was.
The only time you're going to get stuck in snow in Texas.
Yeah.
You're driving through it.
With a big ass trailer.
Yeah.
And not just that, but then my friend's Toyota, her Tacoma, she's got a 13 Tacoma pulling my other trailer with my Focus on it, which they're both sitting outside right next to my other trailer right now because she just went back to Washington and left her truck here.
Yeah.
And now I have a Toyota Tacoma, and it's awesome because it's lifted and it's a beast looking thing. I love it. I wouldn't mind owning that thing.
Oh yeah, Tacoma's a great truck.
I'll tell you what.
E6, the full the crew cab, especially the double cab. They have the Actis cab, which is extended, and then they have the crew cab, basically, which is called the double cab. It's a double cab short bed, I think. What you got there?
We're gonna dust off some parts that have been sitting in here for a minute.
We're going to
Take a look.
take
drive shaft?
your drive
What
shaft.
drive shaft is that?
Ford Performance.
Yeah, this needs to go on like now.
If you're going to do that, go ahead and swap out the transmission. Jesus.
What?
Just do it. If you're going to
What'd
put
you
it
say?
on, huh?
What'd you say?
If you're going to put it on, put the new transmission in too.
No. Why would I want to put wear and tear on my blower's transmission?
Oh my God, because you need to break it in before you put power on it.
I will break it in just fine with the blower. I'll break in the blower as well. We'll take it nice and easy.
You put it in on NA, let it get broken in nice and good.
Or here's what we do. We'll literally break in the new blower by breaking the old transmission. There's some content right there.
Well, don't break it. I might need it.
Well, I might need it. So maybe I should be careful with it.
What do you want?
Yeah, I need to get this on, man.
You won't regret it.
How are you supposed to store these things? I've had this thing standing straight up, so I hope it's not like bowed.
I kept mine standing straight up too for about 2 months before I was able to put it on.
Well, this has been like 2 years, so
It should be fine. You say that's Ford Performance?
yeah.
Yeah, I think mine's a. Well, I don't remember what the brand is. I think it's actually a Steeda, but it's built by the same people who do the rear ends.
QA1?
No, the 40s and the 60s and why my brain, the truck, like
Dana. Spice.
Dana. Yeah, it was built by Dana. It's built by Dana.
Ford's is actually a
Boss
spicer.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jim.
Jim. I got your message. I saw your message when I worked.
I
My
got
phone left in my truck all day, so I saw it on my way home. But there's like really nothing I can do about it.
Calm down. Go. 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 Go.
So I'll take a picture of it when you see it again, Bradford. I found a Tundra that you would absolutely get rid of the Sequoia, everything you can to get. I want it, and I don't
first gen.
know.
I don't want a first gen.
No, brand new one.
I don't want a brand new one.
I think you'll really like this one.
I do like them. Let me phrase that. I would love a brand new one. I'm not spending $80,000 on the spec I'd like.
Yes. So the one I found is hunter green. So it's a dark green with the black top of the cab. And the guy put 20 by like 10s on it that are black. Yeah. This thing looks absolutely the best looking truck I've ever seen.
Have you seen have you seen those up close, the TRDs, like the plastic that you, or like the ABS plastic that's on the trim? It's like digi-cami looking if you get up close to it. It's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, the new TRD Pros are awesome.
Yeah, and the Sequoia TRD Pro looks so freaking good.
Although I will say those snorkels they put on them are kind of stupid, because I doubt they're fully. I doubt they actually hold water out. They look cool, but I don't think they're going to work.
Gunner? Yeah, but honestly, I still want a 5.7 because it's a bulletproof motor as well, and it'll do everything I need. What I've started seeing is, so did you know that there are half-ton fifth wheel campers? I did not know that.
They're what?
There's campers that are fifth wheels for half tons.
Not shocked.
I can see that. Just got to get a fifth wheel attachment.
Nope. So a Tundra would be my half ton of choice.
No, not me. My half ton of choice would be a F-150 because that's just who I am.
Well,
but I'm not going to go half ton. I'm going to stick with my 1 1/4 ton.
If they said, "Hey, I need you to buy a truck that you think is going to last you 400,000 miles," I'm taking that.
I'm going to buy a Tundra just because I can find one that will last for a lot easier than a Ford. Because I won't buy one with an EcoBoost in it. I'm not doing it.
Oh, no.
I don't like either, Gunner. I like rock and roll. Sorry.
Personally, if I was to buy an F-150, it would be like a single cab, 2-wheel drive F-150 with a Coyote in it, just so I could turn it into a drag truck.
Oh,
if I'm going to do that, I'm going to buy an S10. Fuck it. Yeah,
I'd get the 3.5. I'd get the 3.5 twin turbo for towing.
For towing, yes, but
that's all you're going to do. You're going to be broke down. That's the problem with it. It's
the old Eco. So they've gotten better. The first iteration of the Eco Booms were bad and unreliable. The new iteration, they fixed people.
All 7 people I know with them have all had to take it in at 80,000 miles with bad turbos and timing chains. Every single one of them.
Well, did they change their oil on time?
Yeah, the one guy's an old guy. He's
then you just proved my point. I just want to get. That's why I want a Tundra.
I'm gonna stick with my I'm gonna stick with my Super Duties, no matter.
I mean, I'd love an F-250. I would love to have an F-250. I just don't right now. I don't have the funds for it. Like, so I've got money set aside for the project car, but that if you guys remember, that came from me selling my old project car. Like, I didn't just manifest cash for a new car. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get myself into a truck.
I'm really sad that your old car has been gone as long as it has been, and you don't have the new one yet.
Well, that's not my fault.
Yeah, I know. But you missed a whole season.
I know. Well, I honestly, there's a lot going on there behind the scenes.
I know. I'm not blaming anybody. It's just sad. That's all. There's no blame here.
So yeah, I did miss a lot of car stuff, but my summer was pretty full. We were camping a lot. So, like, it's not like I really missed out on stuff. I had
10 years, we'll get tired of the whole camping thing and they'll stop doing it. Although you have a camper. When I went camping, we did it with tents, the way you camp.
Who does that?
Nobody.
Hey, I had air mattresses.
I need my air conditioning. Okay, my air conditioning, and
We had optional power brakes at one time too. That doesn't mean that was a good idea.
Had what?
We had optional power brakes at one point too. It doesn't mean it was a good idea.
Power brakes. Man, you were living the life of luxury there. I remember my old cars that had manual brakes and manual steering and manual clutch. And I kind of, for some things of it, I liked it because you had more feel. You could feel things better.
So
But
the MGB, I learned this the hard way because my master cylinder was starting to fail for the brakes.
Yeah.
They put a safety feature in there where it had this I can't remember the name of it. It was a name for a valve, but it was like a very small little piece. It wasn't even really a valve. But basically what happened was there's two separate reservoirs in the master cylinder, and it's a safety feature. If it detected there was a loss of pressure in one, it would close it and immediately let you actuate the other reservoir to pressurize your brake system. So you could stop and not die.
Nice. And that's in a very old car too. What year?
Yeah. Well, the reason I discovered that is because when I put it back together, I had this one little piece sitting on my when I replaced my reservoir, it didn't tell me that I had to take this piece out. I caught that in a video later on, and I was like, Jesus, do I trust that just one reservoir is going to keep me alive, or do I want that safety feature? And eventually my common sense took over, and I undid it, and I was just pissed. I think there's a video on it. I was so mad taking it back out. I hate doing rework. I hate doing things twice.
Yeah.
It should be if it's not done right the first time, I'm just going to be a grumpy, angry person.
What year was your MG?
74 and a half.
Okay, yours was new. Shit.
Well, so funny. It was 74 and a half. And the last day it was driven was an 89. The registration sticker on the window was an 89. And that's when he parked it and he started to rebuild it. And the guy who was rebuilding it took all his money and screwed him. So he sold it to me for dirt cheap, like $500, gave me like $2,000 worth of brand new parts in the car. And I only had to spend another $330 to get it running.
What engine was in that?
It was an 1800. So
the 1.8. Yeah. Okay. So it's the same one the Spitfire had in it.
Yeah, and it was fun. I loved it. I loved driving it, but with what I was trying to do, it fell in my lap. I would never look for a car like that. And I enjoyed it because there's no better feeling, especially for me. I've always wanted to work on cars and I never really had the opportunity. And so getting a pile of parts which is what that was. I have pictures of it. A pile of parts, disassembling the motor, going through it, putting it back together, and getting a car that had not been started since 1989 to fire. I was so over the moon excited.
Yeah, that's awesome. Did that have the Weber carb on it?
No, it didn't. It had but it had the one that everybody wanted, the twin SUs.
Okay.
So I had the old school ones right before they put in the damn emission systems that choked everything.
Right. So mine had the Weber carb. It was a Spitfire. They're basically the same car.
Yeah.
Two different manufacturers. They actually use the same exact engine. It's made by the same manufacturer, the 1.8. And mine had the dual Weber carb on it. So there's little single barrel Webers. It's the same Weber carb that was used in my stepdad's 1971 E-Type 2+2 Jaguar, but that thing had 6 of them on it because it was a V12.
I still get people that watch those OG videos on the channel and ask me questions all the time and hey, this is what I think the answer is, but I haven't had this car in 3 years. So
it's fine. It's fine.
It's ask somebody else.
I understand you haven't had it in a while. I haven't had my Spitfire since 1990.
So the reason it was 74,
remember most everything about it.
The reason it was a 74 and a half was because in 75 is when the emissions regulations changed. And they had already built all these cars to come out in 75, but since the date of manufacturing was built in 74, they could sell it and evade the new regulations. So they just labeled them 74s and a half and avoided all that drama.
The only half car I've had was I had a VW Scirocco that was an 83 and a half. So
Those were
it had
gutless cars.
it was the 83. I love that car. Don't talk crap about my car I loved that I never should have gotten rid of, but my ex-wife made me sell it. That's why I left her. No. But so it had the 83 body with the single windshield wiper.
Yeah.
But it had the 84 drivetrain. Made looking up parts a pain in the ass because you look up for 83 and none of them would fit. You'd have to look for anything drivetrain related that was non-body. You had to look up 84. Anything body related or interior, you looked up 83.
Man, my
Which
dad
took
said he
me a
had
while to learn that because the internet wasn't quite as good as it is now.
my dad said they had one of the old Rabbits, and he said it would get up to 55 if you'd go downhill.
My Scirocco would get up and move. It would do over 100 pretty easily. I mean, that's pushing it, but it'd get over 100.
Dual point distributor.
I have. It's been a while.
I mean, I messed with the distributor on the MG. I don't know if it was dual. I don't.
Yeah, in 74, it probably was. The old Webers and the old Cobra. Yeah, the Weber carbs were the funniest thing ever is, and it struck me so odd, is back when I used to have to put Marvel Mystery Oil in my carburetor. You had to fill it up, and it would use it. So every so many weeks, you'd actually have to go and refill them.
Oh, I didn't learn that until after the fact. I did not learn that you had to I was watching because I was rebuilding my carbs, and I was like, holy crap, there's supposed to be oil in this. Yeah. It hasn't had oil in it since '89. And I've already put 1,000 miles.
Little screw cap on top. You pull it out, and it looks just like the one in the that most power steerings have. With the little stick.
If it doesn't make a slurping noise, you're in trouble.
I'm getting old. I haven't set up a dual point distributor in forever, but I have done points. Like on my old, I had a what was it? I think it was a 71 Harley golf cart with a single jug Harley engine in it that ran on points, and that was fun to fix.
Yeah,
I bought it for $500. I spent $30 to fix it and make it run, and it was great. And I really should have kept it, but I got rid of it when I moved. I sold it for $500.
So
for what I paid for it.
So the new Fox, my understanding is it has 40s and turn downs. So I think I'm gonna remove the 40s and put the 10s on it pretty soon after I get it.
Really? I like 40s.
I do too, but I want it more louder.
Mo louder? Are the 10s actually louder? I thought they were deeper.
They're louder. They're short.
Are they? They're the little short guys, right? The little jugs.
They're significantly louder.
So there's only one chamber in it.
Okay, so the what I have the mufflers I have on my car are about this big, literally that big, ovals about that big around, that long and about that big around. That's my mufflers, but they are mufflers.
Well, I'm going to take I got a guy who did the welding on the old Fox to help me get that mid pipe to fit. So we had to bastardize it. It was not for that year. And so we'll probably do the same thing. I might, or if I really want to get crazy with it, I'll bring my boss mid pipe and say, "What can you do?"
That's what I would do first.
That'd be really crazy.
Yes.
I don't even know if it'll sound good though. Was it going to sound good coming out these boss side pipes?
There's only one way to find out.
It is cammed, so I mean, or it's got a cam in it.
Have you ever heard a bad sounding Fox body?
No, I've just heard quiet ones. Mine was quiet when I got it at first, and it's not. It had the truck motor not the truck motor, the freak is it?
Thunderbird.
You're old.
Not the Thunderbird, but the Mercury version of the Thunderbird back in the 80s. Cougar, thank you. God bless. I was struggling. For sure, had a Cougar motor in it.
Oh my God,
those motors were different from the Mustang.
Yeah, mine had the CFI throttle body injected motor, and it was whereas the Mustangs were getting you had the carb if you were the carb if you were manual, and I think if you were automatic, you had straight up EFI.
Okay.
They just made the jump, but the throttle, for whatever reason, the Thunderbird at 85 still had the CFI or the throttle body injection system, and it was not very. I mean, it wasn't fast. It sounded good. I probably could have beefed it up some. I mean, there were certain things I could have done, but you're really not going to get too much more power out of that intake, which is why I had the spare carb here I was going to throw on. And when I sold the car, I offered them see if he wanted the carb with it, and he was like, nah. So
He was probably just going to drive it and enjoy it.
he's been driving. I see pictures of it all the time. It looks good still. Like that, he doesn't. I don't know if he's done the top yet. I know he has not done the top yet, but with the tonneau cover on, that car looked really good.
You had a tonneau cover for it?
Oh yeah, it was a nice one. It was in great
The one
shape.
is it the one that went around the driver's seat and covered the rest of it?
It came up to the back of the driver's seat. Yeah, it was like, and it was like burgundy. It matched the seats. It looked really good.
So I had one for the Spitfire. When you put the top down, it would cover everything except for the driver's seat.
Oh no! I'm talking about the Fox body.
Oh, no.
I did have that one for. I know what you're talking about. I had that
Yeah.
for the. I had that for the MGB, and I left it on because I didn't have the interior in there. I just had seats. And so no one could see the hunk of crap that was the interior of my car because I covered it with that tonneau cover. And when I parked it, I just zipped it up.
My interior was actually in really, really good shape, and we used a lot of the leather oil, the saddle oil on the seats. Oh my! It always smelled so good. So did the Jags. It's the same thing we do with the Jags.
I did everything I did to that car was functional repairs. So I rebuilt the motor because I needed it to run, obviously. Rebuilt the carbs, changed out the master cylinders, slave cylinder. Actually, I have. Check this out. I'll show you something cool in a second. And then
I gotta go back and watch some of your older videos. I really do.
The interior, I did the floor pans, and if you watch that video, that's like one of my most popular videos. Was welding with the flux core welder. That's what originally carried my channel back in the day. And I watch it because my son picks on it, clicks it every now and then, and it's so cringy to me. But here, check.
Oh, God dang, that really hurt.
I just hit my foot on a
Are you
weight.
using the old the Harbor Freight flux core?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I had one of those. I gave it to my son. I have a Lincoln that'll do flux, but it also does gas now.
So I have the cotter, the pin that was in my slave cylinder, and I'm trying to find it because you will not believe what this thing looks like.
I might, because I dealt with those cars for years. The reason I remember my Spitfire so well is it was my first car, not the first car I bought. The Pinto was the first car I bought, and that was the '79 that I replaced the Spitfire with when the engine blew so bad, and I did not have the money to replace it. And since it was still legally owned by my stepdad, he sold the car. And it was sad because the guy who bought the car ripped it apart and put a 350 Chevy engine in it to make it a drag car. And it lasted all of half a season before he destroyed it, like obliterated it into a wall. I was very sad
for that.
It was such a nice car, though. It was that old burnt orange color with a white top, and it had the chrome luggage rack on the trunk and the chrome bumpers, which was an American thing they didn't have in Europe at the time. So that was the one thing that was different about the ones that came to America. They had big chrome bumpers with the rubber on them, the rubber bumpers on the front and rear. I love that car. There was a chance I had back in Washington years later that they had one of those auctions where, if you're sitting in the car and they mark it down at the time, it's $10. And that's how I ended up getting the Scirocco. And this is something they did at this one dealership way back when. These were all their junker used cars they're trying to get rid of. And there was a Spitfire that looked just like my old one, except it was a 72. And I tried to get to it, but somebody else got to it before I could. And it went for $10.
Wow.
So it actually cost more to register it than it cost to buy it.
Wow.
And I said, screw it, and jumped in the Scirocco, that 83.5 Scirocco, and ended up with that for $10. So it's a good buy.
Yeah.
Can't find it. Cotter pin was like super crazy worn out, like hanging on by a hair.
Was it so worn that like the middle of it was like about to fall apart?
The middle, like one side, it looked like a freaking a rotating assembly. That's what it looked like.
Okay, so that's probably one of the parts I replaced in my old car. But I owned my car in the late 80s and early 90s. Well, 90 is when it died. And this was, it was a 71. So it was only a 20-year-old car at the time.
Yeah.
19. But it was as old as I am. So it was actually in good shape. The body, it was in great shape when I got rid of it, other than the engine had like popped cylinder 4 out. The rod had gone through the block.
Well, I cannot wait to go get this car. Like Leighton the other day, out of nowhere, Leighton's like, when are we getting a project car? Like, when are we getting it? What is it? Just tell me what it is. He's like starting to get impatient about it.
That's your oldest, right? Leighton?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the one that's on the channel every now and then, right?
Yeah, him and the middle child are.
Okay.
Maddox is my obsessed car kid. So, like, you know how I'm bribing him to read?
Yeah. How?
I'm bribing him to, if he reads me a book, he's got these things called Bob books. They teach you how to read, like basically teach you sight words. And if he can read me that book by himself, without me having to tell him any words, he gets 5 minutes with my GoPro 9 because that's what he wants.
He's the one helping you film during your video, wasn't he?
The bullet video, dude, the filming of the car from the outside was all my 6-year-old because
I assume that's
okay,
great.
Yeah, that was fun.
It's got auto stabilizing, and even with that, it was still pretty rough. And I was like,
it wasn't that bad.
I thought it was fine.
I've done worse videos.
The part that I thought was so funny, and nobody else can catch this but me, and I left it in the video because I was like, he's watching me so closely. So like when I pulled the bullet over to where the boss was, if you watched him, he took the camera, he got right in between both cars, and then he backed up. I'm like, that's something I do. He completely
did a really good job.
Yeah.
He did.
That's so funny. Oh my gosh.
I actually didn't realize it was your kid at first doing it. I thought
maybe you had your immediately assumed it was.
Until it got a little shaky and you said something to him and I heard his voice and I'm like, oh, wow. That's his child doing that. And I didn't know which one. So,
yeah, it was it was 6-year-old. So
6 years old. That's actually, he's a cinematographer in the making
the problem was
Hollywood.
So I have a storage unit that I use and it's a caged in facility. So he wanted to record. And so I let him hold it there. And I had to cut this out because he gets excited, and when he gets excited, he starts jumping. So he's jumping, and the camera's doing this, and so it's not even on me at all. And so I'm like, well, I don't think we're going to be using that.
Hi, Blue.
I'm going to hop off here. I think I'm going to go lay down early tonight.
I got to get to bed. I actually get up early now for work, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Early.
I always get up early for work. It's so much fun.
I do appreciate everybody coming in. It was nice to finally have like a semi-normal stream for once in a while. Been schedule's busy, so I'm going to do it as often as I can. I can't promise it'll be as locked in as it used to be, but I'm going to be on here when I can.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for having me, and catch you guys later.
Yep. Later, guys. Everybody have a good night. If you haven't already, please do hit the like button as it does help the channel. But I will see you guys next time. And Pinks, I know you just headed out. Oh, shoot. What did I do? There we go. Pinks, if you're going live tomorrow, I'll try and be in there. Tomorrow's my gym day, but if my shoulder's jacked, we're not going. So, everybody, have a good night, and we'll see you soon.